During these final days of Advent, the Church digs through the Bible and surfaces some amazing stories about miraculous conceptions and births. We have the stories of angels in the book of Genesis who tell Abraham and Sarah that in their old age they will conceive and bear a son. There is Hannah in the first book of Samuel who prayed for a child and finally became pregnant. Samuel, the first and great prophet of Israel, was born. Today's first reading from the book of Judges gives us the story of Manoah and his wife, who received a visiting angel who told her that she would bear a son, whose name would be Samson. Samson would grow to become a leader of Israel, who delivered them from the power of the Philistines. In the Gospel, we hear how Zechariah and Elizabeth received the good news of the angel who told them that they would conceive and bear a child in their old age, a child who would be John the Baptist. So in each of these stories, it is an angel of the Lord who shares the news with these men and women and reminds them that their sons will be instrumental in the history of salvation. Ultimately, all these stories are designed to lead us to the Annunciation, that moment when the angel appeared to Mary to announce that she would conceive by the power of God and bear the Messiah, Jesus. And in a few days, we will celebrate the birth of Mary's son, who is our Savior. In light of all these birthing stories, it might be a good time for us to reflect on our own birth, the circumstances surrounding us coming into the world. Each of us has some story to share, perhaps about how our parents joyfully greeted the news that they were with child. And regardless of the circumstances that might have brought us into the world, each of our births is important in God's mind. He calls us into being. He's the one who forms us in our mother's womb. And in time we entered the world, taking our first breath, growing under the guidance and the care of our parents. Then we began our journey to grow in wisdom, age, and grace before God. At some point, we each heard our calling to use our gifts for the good of God's people. We may not think that our birth is so important compared to the birth of Samson or John the Baptist, but the fact of the matter is, each of us is called for God's purpose of blessing the world in some way. And we do that, we bring blessings to others when we conform our lives to the will of God. And even after we leave this world, each of our names will be remembered by our loved ones and our friends who were blessed by our earthly lives. So as we prepare to celebrate the birthday of our Savior, we might give thanks for our own entrance into the world, however many years ago that may have been. Like the holy men and women who have gone before us and whose stories are told in the Scriptures, we too are called to fulfill the work entrusted to us by God and make ready the way of His Son.